Hello there people, my name is Amanamaz and I have just seen Gladiator 2. Not gonna lie, when this film got announced, I was like, why? The first film was so perfect, it felt like a cash grab based on nostalgia that would ultimately fail. But to be honest, it was actually pretty good. Obviously, it is not as good as the first one, let's get that out of the way. But it is very solid in its own right, and it does its best trying to capture the magic of the first one with Maximus' son. Paul Mescal, I think that's how you pronounce his name, does a very good job at playing Lucius. You just believe everything he is saying when he talks, and you immediately root for the guy. His story is a bit formulaic, however. Apologies if this is spoilers, but you should hear it if you want to get what I mean. We get sent away as a child, grows up abroad, Rome invades and hates Rome, only to find out he's important, and at the end of the film, he embraces who he really is. My main nitpick with it is that I think he accepted who he was a bit too quickly, but given what was happening around him, he could have used the motivation. Obviously, it is a massive oversimplification of the film, but it is pretty much the spine of it. But it's also a good thing that everything around it is built up and fleshed out pretty well. I thought Pedro Pascal was great. His General Acacius character was pretty cool also. I thought he was going to be a dick general who is the blatant final boss for Lucius, but he really wasn't. He's just a war-torn general who doesn't want to fight anymore under these emperors. And he is also Lucius's stepdad, by the way. But when they finally get to each other one-on-one, it doesn't go the way that you think initially. It does go the second most obvious way, probably the most stereotypical heroic way, but when you watch it, you get what I mean. Denzel Washington is just great as always. I mean, it's Denzel. He plays a former slave who wants to take over Rome, but he is so good at being a weasel and making his way up the ladder. He almost politics his way up too quickly. He is quite the charismatic character too, like he knows what to say to people and how to get them on side. He reminds me of the Penguin from the show recently, playing the game really well on how to get power. Obviously, the film isn't exactly historically accurate. It's an epic historical action film, so temper your history on that. If you are a massive history nerd that prefers things to be accurate, then you're in hard luck, because there is a massive boat action scene in the Colosseum. That's right, they filled up the Colosseum with water and had full-on naval combat. It was ridiculous, but I thought it was awesome, and I was so entertained watching it. Aesthetically, I thought the film was so good. I really enjoyed looking at it. Everything from the set design, to the clothing, to how they made Rome look. I think they did a good job at portraying Rome itself. Kinda like how in The Batman, Gotham is made out to be a proper shithole. Rome here is actually fleshed out in my opinion, and how the Empire is viewed. The action scenes were pretty good. The melee combat was entertaining as hell, and apart from the main character, you didn't know who was going to die. It was pretty gory too. You do have a good amount of blood and beheadings, but it wasn't overdone. Overall, the film was pretty good in its own right. I did think it was a bit too long at times, or it felt like it was dragging on a bit. But that's my main criticisms I had really. I would recommend going out to see it whenever you can, and I think you would have a good time watching it in the cinema with a crowd. If I had to give it a rating, it would be an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very good follow-up to a legendary movie. I just hope that they leave it here for now. Anyway, if you like my review, please leave a like and subscribe, that would greatly be appreciated, and I shall see you next time, and peace.